Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Welcome. All right, I'm plugging away. We'll see how much of this I can get done here. Quick update with where I am right now. I have increased the number of totems I've gotten completed. Let's do about here, I guess. I'm having a weird monitor issue. My monitor keeps resorting or falling back to 1080p, which is blowing up all my icons on me, which I don't like. But yeah, I've added a couple more totems to the mix. And I'm down to, I think, 20 I've got left to build. And so onward and forward and keep pushing through. So new totems. Last night we got the goblin done, which is the shackle, the old rusted shackle here, which I'm pretty pleased with. We've got the reanimated, which has the neck bolt with soot on it. This is actually using the same material as is on the shackle, so that's pretty helpful. We've got nail clippers, which are oversized. These are about 5 times the size of a regular set of nail clippers. This is for the giant. And so that's been done. And I ended up changing my mind about the skull, the Tyrannosaurus skull. I didn't like it without the mandible, and with the mandible, I couldn't get it down to a low enough polygon count that I was happy with, and so I ended up scratching it, and figured I would make something that would be a little bit easier to prattle off. And so what I've done is made some nunchucks. And so, yeah, that is the replacement for the T-Rex skull. And so those are in place. I don't think anything else is new here. And so, yeah, so anyway, I keep plugging away with these things. And I'm midway through working on the bull. This is meant to reproduce what the Wall Street bull looks like. Wall Street bull. There's a bull statue on Wall Street that looks like this. And that's what this guy's meant to emulate. And there's going to be a platform that he's on. There's just supposed to be a paperweight. And so that is what I'm plugging away on now. I'm actually doing the UVs here inside of Maya. And so yeah, so I'm kind of trying to get to a point where he's UV'd in a way that I'm pleased with. I'm mostly happy with him. Mostly. I wouldn't mind doing something a little bit cleaner for the horns, which is the one area where I'm kind of displeased with what I'm getting here. And so we're going to see about just grabbing an extra edge here and splitting that and seeing what kind of result I get with this. What is this? That's his foot. That is a strange place for UVs on a foot. But they work. I'm going to optimize this a little bit. Oh, optimizing ruins it. So we won't optimize. Let's go and straighten this out. This is the base upon which he'll be standing. And I'm going to just... That's his tail over there. Actually, come to think of it. Let's see what I can do with that. And so, yeah, I'm going to try and do a material pass on this. Actually, I shouldn't have closed that Wall Street version of him. Let's keep this going. So that's what he's going to look like here as a paperweight. It's just the bull on this platform. This is the low poly on hide all, hide selection. And this is the scan data from right down on Wall Street, which is what I'm going to be projecting onto him in order to get the details right. And so, yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the way this is turning out so far. We're just going to, let's kill the material on this. So I'm just going to go spit this guy out. File, export selected. Actually, you can see here, there, how big my text has become. I was futzing around, and it seems to have broken everything. Apparently Maya doesn't want to go anywhere. Windows, desktop. No, not so much. But yeah, it's in my display settings. Whatever I've done to my monitor, because right now I'm dangerous. That's the issue. It's supposed to be at 100%. And let me see what 125 looks like. Okay. So let's see that. It was actually breaking everything inside the software. That's Maya, that's Max. Still looks a little off, but that should be okay. So we're going to export this. Name. Bull. Hi. Give me some to break. Export selected. So yeah, I'm not really sure what's been going on, or how I managed to break that. All I did was I held control and used the mouse wheel, and it scaled everything on the desktop, and that seemed to have actually broken all of my display settings, which is really, really bizarre that would happen. But anyway, we'll let this go. So come and get it. I don't know why that's here. It's like the display settings keep messing around with everything. Okay, so I got that back. Chat is back. No, that's an artifact that you're seeing, Brandon. The orange spots are are my 4K monitor being displayed on your 1080p resolution. It's a compression artifact. What's doing that? And hold on. Let's grab this guy. Not this guy. This one. This one. That one. Hide selection. And so, yeah, I actually don't see that. You guys see it. And in fact, I can see it if I look at the video. I see it. If I look at what I'm actually outputting in Streamlab, I can see the circular points, but they're not actually present in the software for me. It's a mismatch in resolution that's doing that. It's not Maya that's doing that. It's the video capture. So my screen, what I'm looking at 4K resolution, and what you're seeing is 1080p, and I think that's what the video is recording. And I might even be lower, it might be 720. I went through this before to show people what's going on, but essentially what happens in Maya when you have things selected. I'm going to hit Alt Print Screen and open this up in Photoshop. I'll show you what's going on, why that's happening. So transparency is a really, really expensive thing to render, and what a lot of software packages do is they cheat transparency. So you have two types of transparency. You have 1-bit alpha, which is binary, right? It's on or off. It's 1 bit, which means it's black and white. Either things are transparent or they're opaque. There's no in between. The other version you get is 8-bit, which gives you 256 different levels of transparency, with 0 being completely invisible and 1 being completely visible, and then everything in between being somewhere in between. And so what you're seeing, if I just did a screen grab here of my screen, and if you look at this, you can see that my resolution, I'm actually at 4K, right? So it's really nice and wide. But if I zoom in on this so you can actually see what Maya is doing, Maya isn't actually shading the polygons. It's applying a dither pattern on top of it. Actually, being a comic book guy, you'd get this. This is how they did a lot of very old school comic books in terms of coloring, because ink was fairly expensive and they didn't have all the colors. And things like the original Spider-Man and original Superman comic books, the way that they got skin tone was by leaving the page white and doing a dither pattern in red. And it gave them all kind of a pink skin color, which is how they made people look Caucasian. And so that's what Maya's doing. And as I zoom out of this, even on my monitor, when you start seeing, like right now, we can see how big the pixels are, right? They're really, really big. And you can actually see that there's a pixel that's lit, a pixel not lit, a pixel lit, a pixel not lit. And as I zoom out, when these pixels start getting close to the size of the pixels in the monitor, is when you start seeing the artifacting happening. So I'm getting some artifacting there. It changes there. It looks a little bit more like a like plaid there to me. And then I see it again there. And then here it looks almost normal. And I can actually get to a point where it's a solid color. And so, yeah, so that's kind of what's going on. And a lot of software packages do that just to kind of like cheat the alpha a little bit. In fact, if you've ever made a game for Nintendo, the Switch is absolutely terrible at rendering. It's worse than most cell phones in what it's capable of doing. It barely supports transparency at all. And so when you see games like Mario, not Galaxy, what's the most recent one? Mario shit son. I forget the latest one. Switch Mario game. Whatever the hell that was called. Odyssey. That's it. So if I go and look at transparent issues in Odyssey, and we look at images here. So whenever you get to a point in gameplay in Odyssey, when something comes between you and the camera, Nintendo only supports, there it is. Nintendo only supports 1-bit alpha. And so you get dithering, which is how they do that. You know, it kind of gives Mario the appearance of being translucent, but he's actually not. He's actually still completely opaque. They just alternate every other pixel to make it look like he's transparent. And so, yeah, it ends up being really, really difficult to make anything look good on the Switch. It's literally like going back in time and trying to make games on ancient hardware. What the hell happened to that? There we go. Oh, I must have hit the square. That's what I did. Instead of layout, I probably hit something else. But yeah, you can see how the Mario stuff is kind of really ugly. Which is why I don't like developing for the Nintendo. Rocking now with the band. Okay, now the monitor I've got, while it is 4K, it's also really a shitty monitor. And it is 4K, but I can see what I'm looking at on screen. I see all kinds of VSync issues with this, where I can see the resolution lines going down. It's even worse when I look at monitor 1 and I catch it out of the side of my eye. Just absolutely craptacular. And so I'm in the market for something else. Now that I've built the computer, I want to kind of tailor a monitor to it. And so we'll see which way I go with that. Tumbled into love. So I'm just looking to put another seam on this fella to try and break him up a little bit more if I can. I have no idea where that edge went. It went right there. And the reason I want to do that is that, A, it'll allow me to unfold these guys in a slightly different shape. And that will allow me to lay them out in a slightly different shape. Because it's Nintendo. They decided a long time ago that they're what Nintendo does in the game industry is not what Sony and Microsoft do. Sony and Microsoft compete head to head in terms of the best looking games and the most advanced technology, right? They're talking about SSDs, and they're talking about, you know, like all of the crazy stuff that they can put into these consoles in order to sell them. Which is why we're getting, you know, all kinds of words being thrown around now that were things that were never talked about before in terms of the consoles, like teraflops. You know, when I bought a PS4, that was a word that never came up before, teraflops. But now with this new generation, that's what everybody's talking about, is the number of teraflops. Which is also, yeah, it's kind of silly, but Nintendo a long time ago decided they weren't going to do that. Nintendo has gone down a different path where what they do is concentrate on gameplay. They concentrate on the experience of playing the game and not so much the quality of the game. If you were to equate this with the film industry, you would end up with something like a B movie with a really good plot is what Nintendo is. Whereas Sony and Microsoft, where they're going is more like a Hollywood blockbuster. You know, where they're like, summer release, let's see if this can be the biggest selling movie of all time. Whereas Nintendo just wants people to have a lot of fun playing their games, which is why they're not competing anymore, right? You get things like this goes all the way back to the 64, where they're not on the same level as everybody else. And so, and this isn't like, it's not a Nintendo doesn't know what they're doing. You know, this is absolutely their goal, their plan, as it were, is to do this. You know, they're trying to hit a different sector of the market, right? And that's so far working for them. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, that's kind of what it is, right? The Nintendo is a board game you bust out to play with your friends. Whereas, like, even right now on a PS4, you have a hard time finding a couch co-op game to play with somebody. And so, like, they're definitely, like, they're going in different directions in what they're doing. The real question is which one pays off in the end. You know, at some point, it'll be hard for Nintendo to compete. At some point, it'll be hard for Sony to compete. They're just a hardware manufacturer. When everything starts going online, starts going digital, man, Sony's in a lot of freaking trouble. And so we'll see what happens there. Okay, so one bull. Hey, Cass. How you doing, darling? Bobby, I don't think you met Cass. Cass is a former student of mine from a couple years back at GB. Spoken like a true collector. I only want digital. I don't want anything physical anymore. I'm so done with the physical. Things are good. Things are good. I'm still kind of plugging away here on this, trying to get a good chunk of this thing done. I'm the ember that'll burn you down. I'm the water that'll drown you. I'm just a black hole now. Yeah, that's. I've made a couple that I haven't been able to get physical copies of, and that sucks. Um, Especially when you get. Oh, I didn't add the high poly. Wait, what? Ain't nobody giving up. Let's go back in here. Delete these two boys. Everybody wants to see us can hold. Yeah, I don't like discs. I haven't liked discs from the point where my kids were the ones that started swapping what games were being played. But yeah, it's an old school mentality, right? To want to have a collection, to want to have a set of stuff in front of you, is an old school way of thinking. And when you start thinking about digital versus physical, like, we're going to run out of people for whom physical is something they remember. And you look at it, comics have gone that way, books have gone that way, film has gone that way, audio has gone that way, like everything is going digital. And so, it's only fair that we do that too. Ian, I wouldn't say that out loud, my friend. I wouldn't claim to have worked on that game. Okay, what is happening here? Why did my bake not work? What did I break? What did I break? What did I break? What am I doing? This is the Minotaur. I just want to check what I did name-wise with things. I'm baking by name. Let's isolate these guys. So this is, I called it Minotaur Low and Base Low. Okay. So this isn't Bolo, it's Minotaur. Hi. Oh, I've completely gone digital, Brandon. I went digital. Oh, a couple. I don't even know how long ago. The last thing I bought physically was, I think, Fables, and it's been digital since then. And you know what? It's so much easier. I mean, I know you work at a comic book store, and so the physical in that medium is super important to you. But in terms of like being able to read, I have a Kindle, and on my Kindle I have Comixology, which is Amazon's comic book thing, and it's got all the books I want to read. If let's say we're in the middle of a stream here and Ian brings up, something that he's read, which he does on occasion, and I'm like, oh, I haven't read that yet. Instead of jotting it down on a piece of paper and then, trying to remember the next time I go to a comic book store, never mind the fact that I don't go to stores anymore. And so, yeah, it's just so much easier, man. Yeah. Yeah. It's so much easier. Oh, is he in? could not make sense. Well, he said that we would still be friends. Okay, let's see what happens here now. There it is. My dad's got a hell of a record collection. I had an uncle who was working at a Sam the Record Man. When they converted to CD from album, and they literally were told to dump the albums, like just toss them, get rid of them, and like the next day the store opened up with CDs. And my uncle called my dad and said, rent a van and come over. And me, my dad, and my uncle cleaned out this Sam the Record Man, put everything into milk cartons, and brought him home. I gotta stop looking at his arsehole. I'm drawn to it. I don't know what it is. Okay. I think that worked out quite nicely. So the idea here is that I'm making this a brass paperweight. Now the actual statue I think is brass as well. It might be copper. Wall Street Bull. I'm gonna go look at the original reference of him because he's got a fairly unique look. Charging bull. Let's see what he's actually made of. Bronze. So he's bronze. There he is there. Well, the thing with my dad and my uncle, when we cleaned out this place, my dad brought all the albums home, right? He's got, God, I think he's got 40 milk cartons of like stacks of albums. Keeps them in milk cartons. It's a 70s thing. But yeah, he many of them didn't get opened. And so my dad has things like an original pressing of Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, which is the best-selling album of all time, unopened in the original cellophane, which is like, that's mental that kind of thing exists. There's a crazy mentality that people have when they were around in the 70s and 80s of collecting shit. Because things from that era were like just so freaking valuable if you held on to them. Which is something that a lot of people today, I laugh when I see these YouTube videos of people that go and buy large amounts of things. They're like, I'm going to hold on to this till I'm 40. And man, they don't. Yeah, I know exactly, Ian. My favorite thing was that when CDs became a thing, somebody released milk carton shelves that you could buy that were the shape of CDs. Let's see if I can find one. CD milk carton. Because it was like the greatest thing. Oh. Yeah, they come to snuff the rooster. Here. Look at these. This was like the greatest thing when I was young, that you could actually get like miniature milk crates that you could put your CDs in, and it held them. They were all the right size. And this one, you can actually see little pins here that you can actually stack these things together. It's brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, let's see what I can do here about getting some color slapped on this boy. A little too saturated. Yeah, it's the Minotaur totem. I don't know how long it's been since you got here, Ian, but I've got a few more totems done. This one is actually just a paperweight for the Minotaur. But yeah. Okay, so this is the main color, and I'm gonna duplicate this. I gotta stop wearing these glasses when I work, especially when I'm texturing. They tint everything. Okay, let me duplicate this layer. Ian, I think we lost them in their own conversation. You know he ain't gonna die. I'm gonna bring the roughness up a little bit. Yeah, be careful with links in here. Cass, are you on the Discord? We have a Discord server that we're running here as well, where you are free to paste links. If you want in, yeah, you're not in here. If you want a link to the server, Cass, send me an email. You should still have my email address. Dying Ralph. Oh God, please, won't you help me make it through? Yeah, they come to snuff the rooster. Max is pissing me off, man. I had a whole row of things go absolutely mental. You don't have my email address? Yes. Okay, hold on. I probably still have yours. I only have your GB one, Cass. I don't know if you can still access that. If you want, Brandon, I can open it up and go through it on here with you. Actually, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. These videos are all purposely for this project, and I don't want to put anything in here that's not. Okay, let me see if you ever emailed me from anything that is not your school email address. I don't think you did. Okay. Well, you can email me. My email address is toph.turner@gmail.com. This guy's actually quite a bit shinier in real life, but I think this will work. You forgot an I there, Bobby. Ian here is Scottish and uses the Scottish spelling of Ian. Ba-do-doo, ba-do-doo. Let's see what I can do with this. Height. Pull this down. I want this to look very, very smooth. Let's add a black mask and go and select it. Boy, I don't like that. No, I don't think I'm going to go with the wood. I think the whole thing made out of brass looks good. He's got another layer of color in real life, at least in one of the pictures I'm looking at. KSA John, how you doing, pal? Okay. Yeah, send me a... Actually, I've got your email address. Okay. Go generate a link. Create an invite. Copy. Apply. Okay, cast's on its way. And let's do this one. Okay. It's art driven. Cass, don't feel out of place because you've got less dimensionality than the rest of us. Okay, let's see what I can do here. I'm going to duplicate this layer. I lost my reference. Where did you go, boy? It's a very yellow color to it. I'm going to pitch this up a little bit. Still want it warm. A little less saturation. I think I might go here. And pitch this one a little bit more into the red. Okay, let's see how that works. So we're going to add a black mask here. Add a generator. And this guy, I would like... Cool. Planar projection in 3ds Max. Planar projection for what purpose, John? Render angle to a picture and bake it into a planar mesh as a texture. What is it you're trying to do, John? Even from that description of the steps that he's saying to do, I'm a little unclear as to what you're doing. To project a 2D flat image into a ready 3D UV model. Project a 2D flat image into a ready 3D UV model. Yeah, that's a fairly simple thing to do. It depends on what the UVs on your model look like. Unhide, I got nothing. But, what kind of model are you talking about? Are you talking about a character? That kind of thing? I assume for a skin, that's what you're talking about? It's hard to criticize. Where did you send the link? I want you more than you just fake it. A gun skin. Okay. So the only reason you would really need to project anything is if you wanted a specific texture in a specific place, you would need to project. Like if you're trying to put camo on a gun, then you don't really need to do that. It's in the chat box? The YouTube chat box? Because there's no links in there. No, it's disabled in YouTube. They do that to stop people from pasting links to porn and sites where people might want to take advantage of you and all that good stuff. Yeah, the links won't show up. If they did, it would actually, the video would get flagged and would get taken down. Okay, I think I'm pleased enough with this. That got me out. What the hell am I doing? Cabin in the Woods. My mind is all aflutter. Textures, new folder. Minotaur. Let's go select our Unreal. Prefab and export. It's a chalk outline. Okay, let me bring in this statue so that I can make sure I've got it the right size. Okay, let me bring this in. Yeah, he's itty bitty. I want him to be about that big. Here's a chalk outline. Okay. Let's go and export this. Dun, 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 dun. Up. All you left behind. Okay, Minotaur should be done. So let's go see how quickly we can get this guy going in the game here. So step 1, import the Minotaur. Reset my materials to the FBX. Go to my materials. We're going to import into here. As again, these are all... You were thinking of making a form? If you get it through ArtStation, you can actually get your own domain space if you're a pro. So I'll show you here. So if you go to turner3d.art, which is my own domain, that has my artwork on it, and this is actually all generated by ArtStation. So this literally just pulls from what's on my ArtStation page, the things that I want to include, and it generates all the pages for me and everything. So I don't have to worry about doing any web design or anything like that. It's all just generated for me. And that's got my own URL. And you get that for free when you're a pro member of ArtStation. And so very super worth it. Pro just means you spend the money on ArtStation. Which, I mean, if you're going to buy a domain name anyway, it's close to the same price, right? And so, yeah, no, dude, they've got... Here, let me sign into my ArtStation. I'll show you really quick what they've got. Because they've really upped their game, no pun intended, in the last little while. So let me go to... Really such a shame. Take a chance, everything's a game. So here. So they have all these, like, themes for different things that you can do. And then you can also do your own custom themes if you don't like them. And then all you do is you just pick on one of them. And it populates it from within your ArtStation stuff. You can reorder things using, menu, and it does all this stuff here. And the nice thing about it is that it's just just generated by ArtStation. So every time you put new stuff in, so for instance, we are 5 days away from Scully shipping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. So we get 6 days, just under a week until Scully ships. When Scully ships, I'm going to be able to put renders of those characters on my ArtStation. And again, I'll add them to my website as well, but I can add them to my ArtStation, and then I can tell ArtStation, include these in my portfolio website as well. And you could, like, there is a distinction between the two. So it's not like everything from your ArtStation shows up in your website, and you pick and choose which pieces you want to be part of it. So that, again, so you're not trapped in this and that. But you actually get to choose which things you have. Really super useful. Would you like that? Would you like that? Number 1. I will try to find my place in the diary of Jane. It's not the rule, but it's what I do. Really, eh? Might not be able to pre-order it on that's outside of the range of what I do. I have it already. Look, if I go to my desktop, somewhere I have a desktop. Look, there it is. I've already got it installed and have already been playing it. Here, okay. So I did. What the hell did I call those textures there? Minotaur. So we're gonna make another instance. Mi Minotaur. Undock this. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, I'm working at a smaller indie place, right? And so we don't have that issue. The image that I'm using of Vladdy from Maze was something they actually gave me to do. And so yeah. Scully will be on all consoles and Steam. And so yeah. PS4, Xbox One, and what's the other one? The Switch. It'll be on Switch. Okay, where am I going to put the Minotaur? Gotta put the... Oh, you know what? He might be good. Let's put this guy here. Oh. Let's go and find out. I know you guys can't see anything here. I know it's really dark. But there's no post-processing showing up. Okay, so I need to go find from my list. Where is the Minotaur? 29. Too many people landing over me. Now, I had an issue with the shelf here in letting me... All I need... Oh, oh. There's some weird collision issues with this thing that it doesn't often let me... The good life. Let's see. So I'm going to put him back there. Apparently I didn't assign the material to him. It's time for me to take a stand. All I want. Beautiful. Appreciate it. Yeah, there's something weird about the There's something weird about the ray trace that I can't put anything in this shelf. It blocks all the ray tracing from happening. What if I put it on top of the shelf? Hold on, hold on. I always wanted it this way. Yeah. There's something weird about this shelf that I cannot... The good life. Whoa, whoa. Let's see, where else can I put this? I've got one there. I'm trying to kind of evenly space these things as well. The good life. Good life. Well, that didn't do what I wanted it to. Feel free, Cass, to post your own stuff there. There's a whips folder there as well that people are putting stuff in. Doesn't matter if it's 2D. You can still get feedback from artists here. I can't hold it. In the wounded in the hall. Okay. In my body, in my head. Let's go see how this works. Feel like a monster. He's awfully dark there. I might have to do something. I keep saying I'm going to do something about the lighting of this thing. Under lock and key. Turn me on, break me down. Yeah, I can't say I like it there. Daku, daku, do. Let's try him over on the bench here. The trick is that he needs to be somewhere near a light where the light can actually get a hold of it. Doesn't really matter. Ooh, that didn't work well. There we go. Pewter? God damn it. I don't know why I wrote, wait, what is that behind the bull? I don't know what gag I was going for with that. But I do have to go and change my blueprint here. To say not pewter. And this has to say bronze. And wait, what is that behind the bull? It should be fuck off. There's nothing. Don't look behind the bull. Now, in order to propagate that change, we're going to move up one and move down one, and that should work. This way. I see nothing in your eyes. The less I like. Okay. Totems. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Oy vey. Okay. Is it Ian, did you see the dagger when it was done? So sacrifice yourself. Is Ian still here? I don't think Ian's here anymore. But yeah, I'm pleased with the way the dagger turned out. That's one of those ones that I think would be fun for a lot of people to do. I'm gonna see what I can do about the rotation here. No, don't copy the rotation. God damn it. This. Everybody wants it to play the song. But no, it does not play the song. I think what I'm going to do is shove it into the table like this. Like it's an actual dagger stuck in the table. I think... Where's my skylight? Let me save all here. And let's use a specified cube map. You take the breath right out of me. Okay, let me go see. I want to see what the lighting looks like here. I keep fussing around with it. Oh, this is... Oh, put that back. This is definitely better. Oh, yeah, you can actually see it from quite a ways away now. Okay, I've got to finish that cap. Go see what the bull looks like. Man, I'm really, really not liking the depth of field. A lot of the things are too out of focus. Some of them are like really nice and clear, but like it's just off enough that it's pissing me off. Let's see what we can do about that. Where's my depth of field? It is up here. Up here? I lost my depth of field. Here. Focal distance. Where's the focal distance being set? 18. 18. Do, 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 do. For this isn't a game, not per se. I mean, it is a game. It's not a game. So I teach a character class for games, character development, and every year I like to have the students play a game in the first week of classes that defines what character they're going to work on while they're in my course. And in the past, I've done things like a roulette wheel, and the characters are all around the roulette wheel. Cassie here was in my class for that, or Raging Bunny. And I've done a Plinko board where there are characters kind of along the bottom, and the little chit goes all the way down, and it picks it up. So what I'm doing this year is a game where students are going to spawn randomly in this dank, dirty old basement, and they're not going to be given any instruction as to what to do. What they're going to be doing is they're going to be wandering around, and whatever these things are, whatever they end up picking these up, when they end up taking one of these things, it's going to solidify that whatever creature that totem is associated with, that's what they're going to be working on for the year. And so some of them are kind of, a little bit more secretive than others, where you don't quite know what the creature is based off the totem. And some of them are a little bit more obvious. You've got Red Balloon here. This is obviously an evil clown that you would end up doing. And so, yeah, so some of them are a little bit more easy to figure out, and some of them are a little harder to figure out. And so, yeah, that's kind of the premise of what this is. The characters themselves, like, they don't actually pertain to any one game. It's like we're not actually making content for a game. Even though in the past I have done like actual games as the games that we're working on. But that's not the case with this one. This one is just meant to be the characters. And so, yeah, I'm going to kind of go with a current gen. Like, I always try to make things as relevant to the industry as possible. And so the characters will be, current gen kind of specs in terms of the polygon counts and the texture resolutions and all that stuff. I'll try and make them as relevant as possible to what is happening in the industry right now. But yeah, that's what it is. It's not a real game, not per se. But it's like the third pass on this type of thing that I've done. And they kind of keep evolving over time. And so, yeah, this is character selection game 3.0. And 2.0 was not as refined as this. Cass, you never saw the Overwatch one, eh? You want to see the Overwatch one, Cass? Let me see. Where did I put the... in here. Let's go to projects. This one. Not this one. What was it called? Gumball. Yeah, it's the idea, right? Is to give people a little bit of guidance without kind of sticking them with any one particular design. So it still gives them a little bit of creativity, a little bit of freedom to design something, but it gives them a direction in which to travel. So here, Cass, let me, okay, hold on. I'm going to show this right. Let me bring my desktop audio up and make sure we have desktop audio. You guys hear that? Okay. So this one was called Gumball. This is 2.0, character selection game 2.0. And it looks a little something like this. I'll just bring the volume down a little bit. So this one had a UI. And the way it works... Jesus, I'm going deaf. So the way this worked was that you get a Plinko board, and there's a loot crate over on the side and a pneumatic arm with a magnet on the end of it. And you can see down at the bottom of the Plinko board, there are 5 little screens that have flags on them that are randomly flickering. And the way this works is that when each student got a click of the button, what it would do is the pneumatic arm picks up a coin from inside the loot box, goes up to the top of the Plinko board and drops it in the Plinko board. And there's only 3 of them, Brandon, but I can show them. I can show all 3. And so, yeah, so it'll drop the Plinko chip in all the way down. When the Plinko chip hits the bottom, it'll freeze when it passes behind one of the monitors. It'll freeze that monitor on whatever flag is present when it passes it, locking in what nation your character is going to be from. When the coin passes in behind the monitor, the coin also flips over showing us one of the character classes that's on the back. And Cass, before you get all up in my ass about this, I am purposely using the old class system from Overwatch before they merged them together. So here, I'll spin one of the coins. So there we go. So we got defense, and this is defense from Jordan. So the first student would be doing female defense from Jordan. And that would be it. And then once it shows this for a moment, the camera backs out, and it's now ready for the second player, and then everything kind of resets, and you can go again. And so, yeah, I go in and spin again. It drops another disc in. It goes and plinkos its way down. And we get another one. So, female tank from Vietnam. Now, I had chosen 50 different countries to be part of Overwatch that are currently not in Overwatch. And when I say currently, I mean currently when I built this. They actually ended up adding a couple of the nations that I added into it. And so, yeah, and that would be it. So one of the problems with this, one of the reasons that I wanted... Oh, I got... What are the odds of that? Vietnam again. Oh, tank again. Is that going to be 2 in a row? Female tank from Vietnam. And I got the exact same thing twice in a row. So one of the issues that I had with this, if you could picture this this happening in class, and Cass, you experienced this when we played the roulette wheel, was that I had to stop and... Oh, yeah, Portugal's in here for sure. I had to stop every time somebody got something and write it down. And in the case of using my computer, I had to like Alt-Tab out and write it into an Excel sheet. And so it wasn't very fluid. The whole system didn't work very well in that regard. It was neat to see it, played, and it was neat to see the whole system work and everything. But it wasn't very effective in class because I had to keep stopping and going back and stopping and going back and stopping and going back. That's tank again. Male tank from New Zealand. And so anyway, I'm gonna pause that and get out of that. And so anyway, that was the game that I built for Overwatch. And other than it's really, really, really tough to get pop out of it, write the student's name down and what they got, and then pop back into it. And a couple of times, like I wasn't fast enough writing their name that I didn't write down what class they got and stuff. And so it was a real big pain in the ass. The one before that, those who haven't seen the game character selection 1.0, 1.0 is really rough. So 1.0 was obviously the first one that I did. And it was a lot more crude. I threw it together in a weekend and got it to work. And one of the things, while it might not be incredibly obvious, looking at these three games, because they, on the surface, they're really, really different. The brains of them, the backbone of what makes them all work is all exactly the same. And so I'm changing the interface and what we look at. But it's essentially all built off the same system. That system has been evolving and it's been getting more complex, but I haven't thrown out anything from these first ones. So this was the first one I made. This was character selection screen, or character selection game 1.0. And in this one, it was a roulette wheel, right? Where you dropped a ball. All the characters are on the wheel. For this one, we were going to be making characters for Injustice 2, but we were making Marvel versions of those characters. And so, whoa, I've never seen that before. The ball went right back up. Did I just totally break the game? I totally broke it. Let's launch another ball. There we go. 2 of them at once. So there, Power Man. So first student would then be working on Power Man. And this card system that I used for this one, I'm using in the new one as well. Which was and part of the reason why I made this was that there were a lot of Marvel characters that people didn't know, and so I wanted to make sure that they at least got to see, and so yeah, that's the idea, and so yeah, how long did it take you to complete, if you don't mind me asking? So this one, the roulette wheel one, I made this in a weekend, and I mean it's rough. Like there's no world, and everything is just on a box here without textures. The only thing I was really worried about texture wise was just the wheel. And everything again is done like somebody would roll something and I'd have to then write it down. And so that part was still present here, that problem. And so yeah, so that was this one. It was rough in comparison. But then if you look at the leaps that I've made, let me go to my persistent level here, and I'll show you the entirety of this game running now, so you can get the feel of it. Let me turn this on too. So in this one here, we've now got an intro screen, which allows me to type in my name. It allows me to put in my email address at georgebrown.ca. And when I hit enter, once these things have been put together, I can go hit play. I can also hit the I'm not a student, tick this off, and it'll prevent the system from emailing. But then I hit play. And we get a loading screen, and then we get into menu. It's not going to be a white robot guy. That's going to get removed later. And then yeah, so students are going to be able to wander around and go look at things. There's creepy things like the big wheel that pedals itself. There's random audio like this. Let the song finish here. There's these tarps that are strung up that you can go under, and then there's all the totems that you can pick up that are kind of strewn about across the basement. And the idea here is that when you come across a totem like this one, so metal neck bolt. Strange that this old bolt is warm to the touch. It also smells faintly of decay. Why do you feel the need to pick up this stuff? There are some electrical burns on the underside of this bolt, like some serious voltage must have been passed through this little guy. And so people are then able to either put the item back or take the item. If they choose to take the item, the camera falls to the floor, and we're going to see into the corner of one of the rooms. And then the game will wait 10 seconds. I'm going to have something pop up on screen, and then the game quits. Now, what happened? Hey, Christian. What happened in the background of that? I'm going to go log into my email here so I can show you what the students will then see. Is they received an email that looked like this. Oh, picture's broken. Oh, the save game is there. So I've got to fix that. Dover, you've picked up the metal neck bolt. Strange that this bolt is warm to the touch. It gives you the same explanation that was in the game. I've got a save game in there, so if students play it twice, it doesn't give them the same email twice. So the first email, let me see if I can find here's one of the first emails. So here. So you end up with this in your inbox. It says you picked up the alien pod, a seemingly harmless-looking, fleshy egg shape that looks like it might contain some kind of living creature. Its general appearance is unlike anything you've seen on this planet before. And then you get your card in the email that breaks down a little bit about what you're going to be doing for the semester. So in this case, the card says humanoid alien. This is card number 1. It says you picked up the alien pawn. The creature you'll be doing for the duration of 30 years, the humanoid alien. This is a creature never before seen by human eyes, a creature from beyond the stars. When designing your creature, think of what their home planet would be like, and it gives a little bit of direction when they're working on things. So it's a little bit easier for students to be able to go through and do that. And so that is the principle behind the game. Now, the reason that I didn't get the card or the email is it says you've already played the game before, and so you're not being emailed, nor is your professor getting the picture. That's because in my system here, I have a save game file. So if I go to my cabin in the woods and I go to saved and save games, in here is my been played file, which I can delete. And now the system thinks I've never played before. And so, yeah. The idea, Brandon, is that they're given the opportunity to create whatever they want. A lot of students have that level of creativity, right? That, like, Cassie's a good example where she's a concept artist who is taking my character course. And so, you know, in that scenario, she would very much be interested in designing something, which would, you know, this would allow her to do that. But at the same time, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm in the persistent level. Damn it. Menu. Don't save. And so, yeah, it's one of those things that I'm going to pitch this guy down. That people that are able to design can design something. They can create something new. But also, if you don't care about doing any design work, you know, you're not interested at all in that side of things, then you also don't have to, right? You can just rely on one of what those creatures already are. You know, in that case, the xenomorph would work. And that way your design work is done. You can kind of just roll with that. Okay, that's better. I might bring that light up just a little bit. Ending. So I just want to see how bright these maps are. Yeah, so the ending map. I'm in ending. Sky. There's no skylight in here. Oh, yeah, it's this light. Bring this back down. Save all. Make sure this works. Good enough. So I think I might put a skylight in each of these environments here too. And go into my textures. And we're going to use an existing image in here. No, not that one. Not that one. That one. Oh. Which will give it just a little bit more oomph. Save that. And then maps. Let's do that in the menu too. Menu does not have a skylight. I shall place one with a specified cube map of my own design. That works. Exactly. Like, I don't want to, it's not about pigeonholing somebody into doing something they don't want to do. I want to have people that have, the ability and the urge to design something really badass and want to do it on their own. I want to give them the opportunity to do that. And those that absolutely need to be told, you know, this is the character you're doing, then they've got that covered as well. And so That's the idea. That's the idea. So anyway, that's what this whole thing is. So yeah, it's not exactly a game. Not entirely a game, but it is a game at the same time, and so yeah, if that makes sense. What? Where the hell was that? Oh, those stairs. Okay, everything's good. Honky dory. Gotta mute my system so I can put my music back on. And keep plugging away. So anyway, I've got these totems that are the how the system figures out who's doing what. And that is what I'm going through and changing here. So, the next thing I want to do is go look at my totems again and see what's next. So it's going to be a handheld mirror. I'm going to do the Medusa while I'm here. So what I'm doing for the Medusa is an old handheld mirror. I should probably, instead of pocket mirror, I want to do something like this. And I'm thinking, being that it's Medusa, that I might want to put something from on the back of it, something pertaining to the story of Medusa. Let's try handheld mirror instead. That's what I'm looking at. So all this kind of nonsense. This is why I've been putting off modeling this thing. Is the how intricate I know all of these things are, which is one of those things that is going to be rough. And so that's the idea. So this I like because the silhouette is pretty plain, but it's ornate on the back of it. I wonder... Let's see if I can find one that actually is Greek. And see if they have anything design-wise that would fit. See, like, I'm thinking of doing, you know, a relief like this on the back of the mirror, but in regards to Medusa. Yeah, ZBrush is definitely the way to go with this. But I need to also, like, I need to balance the amount of time I'm going to be spending on this. I don't want to spend too long in this because I've got other ornate things that need modeling as well. It would be nice if I could, while I'm doing this one, devise a pipeline so that anything else ornate would be easier to do. Medusa. Let's see if I can find a relief. A Medusa relief. See, that's what I'm thinking for, like, the back of the mirror, is to actually put, like, a proper Medusa relief on the back. because that would be badass. A downside of that is that it's something that's going to have to be hand sculpted. I guess I can do that. Just gotta find a design I like and start plugging away. I do really like that. See, it's funny when you look at the actual, the original, like, ancient Greek ones. She doesn't actually have that many snakes as hair. They're just part of the motif. She actually has just, like, regular hair, but there's a snake or two in the hair. It isn't until you get, like, this stuff that's more recent that all of the hair is replaced by snakes. Because I'm trying to get through. Okay. See, this one here, too. Snakes around the perimeter. Snakes under her jaw. And then, like, one or two snakes in her hair. It's not overly snake. Which is rather interesting. So anyway, the goal is going to be to sculpt something like this and then turn it into brass on the back of a mirror. That hopefully means I can make the mirror a little bit more plain if I'm doing something a little bit more ornate on the back of it. And then I haven't decided if the mirror is going to be broken or not. But that would be the idea. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do, instead of trying to reproduce any one particular sculpt, I'm just make my own. And I'll borrow from various areas here. Different things from these that I like. To ZBrush, my friends. I'm going to close ZBrush. Actually, I'm going to close Max and Maya here too. Now, I do apologize. One of the downsides of the live stream here, I'm going to try and give ZBrush as much freedom on this computer for resources as I can. Also, I'm going to make a smart material out of this so I don't have to recreate it. Brass. Dirty brass. Because I've got a couple more of those that I'm going to have to make. Okay. Got myself a dirty brass. This thing should be fine. And into ZBrush we go. So I'm going to try and shortcut this as much as I can. Obviously, I don't want to spend forever doing this. Make sure my tablet's all loaded up properly and see all my UI. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to load in my most recent female base mesh here. And the reason for that is that I need a face. And so we're going to do this. Do I have polygroups on you? I don't. Okay, so let's do this. And this. Okay, that's what I want. Perspectives on. High poly this shit. Okay. I'm gonna have to subdivide her again. I just need a little bit more out of the resolution. Okay, so she's centered. So I'm going to go to alpha. We're going to transfer. And I'm going to grab the document. Okay. And we can go start in on the coin. So I'm probably going to want to make this oval in shape. Let's go to my initialize here. That's fine. That's better. Let's shrink down the Y, not the Y. The Z. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Jesus, Murphy. Okay, now we can give it a little bit of scrunching this way. Sure, something like that. So let's make that a polymesh. How did I get the silhouette page to pop up? I'm confused. What silhouette? What are you talking about? You're talking about the top thing, the silhouette? That's just part of the recent update, 2020. I'd love to get rid of it. You can make it big or small, but there you don't seem to be able to actually hide it. Yeah, it's just part of the software. That's what ZBrush looks like now. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is go to rotate. Rotate this 90 degrees. Like so. And let's make it a polymesh 3D. Okay. So now, group by normals. We're going to go into Dynamesh. Let's do that. Okay. So this is where you might lose me for a second here in the stream. $100 bills, and it kills and it thrills like the horns on my Silverado bill. And I buy the round to double down the crown, and everybody's getting down. This town ain't ever gonna be the same. Saddle up my horse and I'll ride into the city. Save a horse, ride a cowboy. Good. Good. I don't know why. Okay, so before I'm gonna undo my my Dynamesh here. And the reason for that is that it's baking in some of the low poly of the oval here. So what I'm going to do with that is go in and subdivide this. So I'm going to go increase my polygroups and divide this a few times. We'll delete the lower. And now I've got something better. Beautiful. So I'm going to Dynamesh it again, and what I'm going to do this time is I'm going down to 1,000 resolution instead of 2,000, which even might be overkill here. At least it'll be faster. Okay, so that's beautiful. I'm not going to use the wireframe here. So, the face. Why on earth did I make a face? Well, I made a face because I'm going to use my face. Buzzed on suds down on some backcountry road. We were flying fine as wine, having ourselves a big and rich time. But her evaluation of my cowboy reputation had me begging for salvation all night long. And we made love and I saddled up my horse and I ride into the city. So the idea here is to try and get this as centered as I can. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to cheat this a little bit here. Let's go to the pen brush and shadow. Save a horse, ride a cowboy. Everybody says, save a horse, ride a cowboy. So what I want to do is, I'm just going to paint on this thing. Let's say fill object in white, and I'm going to paint in black. We'll just bring the draw size down. I have symmetry on. And this is going to allow me to, you didn't draw shit. Go up a little bit in size. Well, that wasn't fully 0. You lied to me. That line is supposed to indicate... Yeah, that's not helpful. Get away. There we go. So I just want to do this to help me find the halfway point. I can't sleep at night. I ran. Now I can turn off symmetry. Now that I actually have a nice clean symmetry. Let's bring the draw size up, and it's the intensity I'm going to bring up here. Tainted love. No, that's been in since, say version 2, I want to say. Need more from me to like things said. Okay, let's bring the intensity up even more. Once I ran from you, now I run from you. That's excessive. Okay, watch this. To turn what on? The line that I did? You're talking about like... No, not that one. You're talking about this line? Is that the line you're talking about? That allows you to draw a straight line? That's just shift, dude. You just draw with the brush, and if you hold shift, you click, hold shift, and then drag, and it gives you a straight line. The number that appears, you can see it's a 2, a 1, or whatnot. That's the angle from your original position. So 0 means you're perfectly straight, 1 degree, 2 degrees, 3 degrees, 4 degrees, and whatnot. Now, the further you go out from your point, obviously the gap between 1 degree and 2 degree gets bigger. But it's just the shift button. Nothing fancy. Okay, so here's what I did. I went and stored a morph target. We'll zoom out on this thing. And I'm going to then draw the face on, which is going to make the face bigger than I want it to be. Let's switch my color here and color fill object. We can get rid of the paint job. It's going to make the face bigger and more prominent than I want it to be, but it's on a morph target. So I can actually morph the face now and get it to exactly the size I want. So, again, I want this to be a mirror. So getting a morph target to read correctly at the right size here is going to be really important. Take me away from paradise. Let's reset this brush. I'm going to end up covering her head, obviously, with hair. But I just want to soften some of this shape. Oh, that's going to get ugly. Let's not do her mouth. I'm barred indoors from the summer street, getting out to my own, and I'm fucking lazy. Okay. So I've got her face. The next thing I want to do is some of the hair. I've got no motivation. Where is my motivation? Let's see what we've got here that can be used. I didn't want to have to make something from scratch, but I'm going to have to make something from scratch. Okay, fuck it. I'll make something from scratch. Geometry. Okay. So, I'm gonna go make myself. Call me what you will. I'm trying to thin that out as best I can. Shoo. Okay, pleased with that. Let's go and try and put this in the right spot. Okay, done with that. Perspectives off. We're gonna go to clip curve. Okay, so I'm just going to sharpen this up a little bit. Just to give me, right, you got to go up here. Something a little bit cleaner. Okay. Decent. Let's go Z-remesh this. If you whoa. What the hell happened there? Let's Z-remesh, keeping the groups. That's not better. Not better at all. Let's bring this up to 1. Just too low poly, I think. Don't do that, you... Alright. Okay. That's the first step. Now, let's go into ZModeler. Yeah. Get rid of that. You were only in my way. On my own. I can take living with you. I'm alone. Okay, let's go back to the ZModeler now. You thought you were sitting beside me. Let's do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to point this at the canvas, like so. I'm going to go to brush, and we're going to go and create a new insert mesh brush that looks like that. So now, I'm back on my sculpt here. I'm going to use my newly created insert mesh brush, and let's go and creasing wouldn't have worked because I clumped the polygons up together. Would have just given me kind of ugly artifacting. Okay, so turn that off, and I'll make one of them here. And it's not a fucking... Fuck what you heard. It's what you're hearing. It went inside out. It's funny, man. It looks like it's the right way. Okay, so what I'm going to do now that I've created this thing here, I'm going to go to Move. And Move is going to allow me to, like, you know, position this thing. I'm going to pull it in a little bit. But more importantly is I'm going to switch over to the Bend Curve mode. And what Bend Curve allows me to do is it allows me to treat this like it's a spline. And the idea here is that I can now treat this like it's her hair. So let's bring this point down. Oh, I think I made a mistake. I made a mistake in my, yeah. I made a mistake in this guy. It's masked. And that's breaking it. Okay. Okay, so draw it on the surface. Now the coloring's right. Move. Sink it in a little bit. Fuck you want to do? Okay. Bend curve. So now what I can do, pull this one down. And the idea is that I can now use this to start styling her hair. Where, Mom? Then we're gonna roll. Go, let it go. Start curling out. I'll start bringing this in a little bit more. Go, let it go. Okay, so we'll go play around with curvature a little bit. Until I get something like that. And then we'll go create another one. And do the same thing here. I'm going to reduce the resolution, though. I think it's overkill right now. There. So I'll pull this one into the head. The hair actually comes from inside her head. And we'll twist it a little bit, try and get it outside of the other one. And then we'll go and position it. Aye. Ooh. Let's go and twist. And I hate everything about you. Curl this one up a little bit. Now I'm gonna have to make a snake or two for this, obviously. But the idea is to try and get as much of the hair system built out of this as I can. And I can't stand to be around. I be around. I hate everything about you. Easy. There we go. But that don't change the way I feel about you. And if you think your smile will bring me down, look again, 'cause I ain't wearing no crown. Thin this one out a little bit. So there's a couple that I want to do that I'm actually going to sculpt right on the coin. So let me go. That's weird. Getting artifacting here. Subtools, and actually, No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Split. Group split. Yeah. I just want to put the hair into its own group here. And the reason for that is that now that I have a few of these things done here, we're going to go to Z plugins. We're going to go to Subtool Master. And I'll go mirror this. Here. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, let's auto group. And group split. I should have done two separate ones. Again, I'm not looking to make her completely symmetrical. So what I'm going to do is split these things up. And I'll use the move brush to go and manipulate the curves a little bit. Wow, there's holes everywhere in that. Why do you have holes? Weird. There's holes everywhere. That's bizarre. Easy to fix, though. Okay, let's try the move again. There we go. So again, the goal here is to just kind of break up the symmetry. There's still some holes in that one. Just to break up the symmetry a little bit. So that it doesn't read as a complete mirror of the hair I already made. And pull this one out a little bit. Symmetry's good to a point, after which it just starts looking funny. And you start getting Rorschach patterns and things where people start recognizing shapes and what have you that don't look so good. And so again, like I don't need it to go crazy asymmetrical, but just playing around with the volumes a little bit so that it doesn't read. And again, I'm getting all this crazy height information here too. That is very not concerning to me. Let's grab this guy and merge down. And the reason it doesn't bother me is that my goal here is to actually create a relief. So I can go and scale all this stuff down. And then, again, just kind of go and reshape some of this stuff a little bit. Okay. Sneak time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a cylinder. And we're going to scale down the cylinder, scale up the cylinder. Let's set this to 500 and dynamesh it for now. And never think twice. Okay, do a little symmetrical sculpting. You betcha watch your fucking neck. I'm going to do a little bit of a snake. No, need to make him big nose. In the week accomplished, he knew he had a choice. He always startled easily with the sound of every voice. A pocket full of excess. He take and take and take. It left him with his trigger pointed. And it goes on. It goes on. Absent from concern. And it goes on. It goes on. The coward down below. And in their darkest hours. Okay, let's see what we can do here about softening this. So the idea here is if I sculpt one snake, I can treat it just like the hair mesh and be able to reproduce it all over the place on her head. What they preach, that's what you call defeat in their darkest hour. Yeah, I'm not trying to be anatomically accurate. I'm trying to be accurate to the relief, which is something I always struggle with when sculpting. In that I'm trying to reproduce what a sculptor from ancient Greece would have sculpted, and not what I'm capable of sculpting, which is a little bit of a different thing. And so, yeah, I'm just trying to make it look like the ones in the relief, which, I mean, I guess anatomically they're pretty okay. It's one of those things that I've always kind of struggled with, you know, if you were doing I'd say you were tasked with doing a daycare, and on the wall is a bunch of kids' artwork. That's something that I've always struggled with, is like dumbing down the artwork so that it reads correctly as a child's artwork and not as my artwork. Yeah, there's that. Okay. It's got too much throat here. Get drunk and draw. It's good. Who would have guessed it? It's not too late, it's never too late. Be alright. Okay. That's good enough. I'm gonna put a little bit of a mouth on him. Never too late. That's not the brush I thought I had. And if I do something wrong, and I am left alone, not too late, it's never too late. Okay. Scales. Let's go and mask out the head. Blur out that mask. Let's see what I can find for this. I think scale. The lime we lost. Okay. As I care. Let's see how this works. Okay, so I'm gonna go into surface, noise, alpha, pictures, ZBrush alphas, nature, this guy. That. This should be 0. This should be 0. Okay. That I want gone. A little bit more strength. They go the other way, yeah. Self-affliction fades. Let's go to my rotation. Y offset, Y angle. You tell me I can't rotate this. Okay, so I'm going to say okay. And then we'll do it this way. Ooh. I wish I had a reason. For this I gave up trying. So this would work nicely if this stupid thing had UVs already. Which it won't. It won't have UVs. Okay. Get rid of it and keep it just like that. So what I'm going to do is do a, let's first kill the Dynamesh. Z-remesh. Let's bring this down to 1.25. Wish I would instead of lived. Zombie hides my face. Good enough. Diaries left. You don't need to bother. Okay, let's go look at the relief here again. And once I hold on, I won't let go till it bleeds. I don't need to be. This will be fun. Once I hold on. Okay, so let's keep that one inside. And we're going to go down. Actually, bring this one up. I'm going to distort the face here for a moment. A little bit, handful of complaints, but I can help the fact that everyone can see these scars. What I want you to want, what I want you to feel, but it's like no matter what I do, I can't convince you for once. Just believe this is real. Okay. Looks a little bit meaner now. Let's go and add another snake here. That's not what I wanted. I wanted the snake brush. Some say I feel so alone, gonna end up a big old pile of them bones. Tom Snake. I feel so alone. Okay. Bad dreams come true. I feel so alone. I need somebody, not just anybody, help. When I was younger so much than today. Help in any way. Open up the door. Tell me if you can, I'm feeling down. Okay, let's go to this guy. In oh so many ways, my independence seems to vanish in the haze. I never felt before. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate your being round. younger than today. I never needed anybody's help in any way. And now these days have gone, I'm also self-assured. Open up the door. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. Yeah, there's an element to it. It's also that doing symmetry back then was easier to do. And so they would tend to put it in everything. It was a sign of craftsmanship when you could make something perfectly symmetrical. And they used to devise all kinds of tools that they could use to actually force symmetry into things. So I'm going in and putting a good chunk of asymmetry into this by just using the move brush and skewering the geometry a little bit. I can give her a little bit of a frown here too. I gotta be careful, I'm using the wrong smooth brush and it's gonna leave artifacting. Where are you, smooth? There you are. Okay. Oh yeah, eh? Okay. So what I want to do now is turn this into a relief for the back of the mirror. I'm going to add more to it. There's a really cool pattern that I want to put around the perimeter of it. But anyway, what I'm going to do is just place it here. I'm going to go to alpha and we're going to grab document, which is going to give me a height map of this thing, like so. And I'm going to grab that height map and export it. Let's go to projects, cabin in the woods, reference, new folder. I'll throw that in there. Okay, 3ds Max. Okay, top. Let's go and make a, I think it's just a box. Let's turn my snaps on here. What's going on? That's why. There and there. There. Okay. Up, over, in, down, out. Okay, I think I can get rid of that. Yes. So I'm going to go and select some specific edges here. Turn that off. Create a selection. Let's do 5 and 2. Okay, I'm down with that. Right. Huh. So that's got to change. Let's delete that. I'm not there yet. $30. That's 6, yeah? 27.5. Negative 27.5. Okay, that's better. It's a good tune, Brandon. It's a very good tune. $180. Yeah, that's what's going wrong. Okay. Oh, funny. It went from Albatross into Alice in Chains. That's good. Seasonally from winter, far from every sun that I used to know before your heart turned cold. Just walk away. 'Cause love don't live forever. Okay, so these guys gotta actually end up in the middle. That the lies are all the same when there's no one to blame. Okay, let's delete that. This is an instance. Now I'm out here on the ledge, barely hanging by thread. Japanese lo-fi hip-hop music. My taste in music has always been driven by musicians. I grew up playing guitar. I started taking guitar lessons when I was like 7, and that's always driven my. That's always driven what I like in music. Is music that I can play, music that I'm. If that makes any sense? 'Cause love don't live forever. Just walk away. Just walk away. Love don't live forever. Okay. Ooh, we're good. Out here on the ledge, barely hanging by a thread. So delete this one and this one. Just walk away. Just walk away. If you don't know it, have a listen to "Walk Away" by Otherwise. Great tune. Better hold on. Hey. Okay. She's in hell bent, I'm in heaven tonight. Done out of my mind. One look, I'm hooked for the run-in. My heart started pumping. Night of your life, give me a hell. Get ready to go, she ain't moving slow. Pushing the pedal through the floor. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Times 4 is 28. So 27 copies. I'm eternally fine. Got me running. Keep on coming. Night of your life, give me a hell. And give me a hell, give me a yell. Okay, time to actually make the mirror now. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Almost home. Hey. Give me a hell, give me a yell. And give me a hell, give me a yell. Get ready to go. Come on. Give me a go. She ain't moving slow. She's taking control. She's pushing the pedal through the floor. You better hold on tight. Yeah. Okay. Come on, you. Well, I'm packing up my bags and I'm gonna head out west. And chill like Flint. Kid rockin', I'm a real... Ooh, I needed that. And that bitch up and down the coast. And thrown out of bars. Escort service for all the right reasons. Set up shop at the top of Four Seasons. And I'm a real McCoy, and I'm sitting out west, sucker, because I wanna be a cowboy. Gonna be a cowboy. Bow, meow, meow. And now I'm just found. Cowboy, baby. I wanna be a cowboy, baby. Gonna be a cowboy. Gonna be a cowboy. I must paint a town red and paint his wife white. Straight out of Compton, I'm straight out the trailer, cussed like a sailor. Radio edit. Cowboy. Gonna be a Hollywood and Vine. Boom, 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 boom. Gonna be a cowboy. Hollywood in mind. Okay. I think that'll work nicely. The front's just the mirror. So I'm going to need an intricate border and an intricate handle. The handle will be a piece of cake. You know what I want to do before I close off this software? Sure. Let's call that good enough. Not good enough. So I just want to do a test on here with my alpha to see how well this is going to work. That shouldn't be Medusa. That's Medusa. Who will never be again? We are soldiers. Whoa, 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 oh, whoa. That's not where I put it at all. Your battle cry. Okay, let's see how well this works. Right. Shoulder to shoulder, we stand, shoulder to shoulder. Not as ideal as I'd have liked. We are the ones. That's not quite giving it the effect that I wanted. We are the ones who will never be. Let's try this. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is definitely not doing what I wanted it to do. Oh. You are not here. I will not. Okay, let's see if this is any better. Your affection. Hey, Bray. So, yeah, that's what I should have been doing the whole time. So that allows me to stamp it in. The downside of this is that I've got a maximum size of my brush, and I can't actually make it any bigger than this, which is not ideal. But I guess I could work in more filigree and stuff around the model. In order to make that work. Let me go over to my smart materials. I want to try my brass out on this. And just see what it looks like. So first, I'm going to anchor this. And then smart materials, dirty brass. Yeah. Yeah, I was doing that in ZBrush. I got a thing I've been making. So let's see if I can use these things. Yeah. Let's start here. Curvature. Can we use a micro? You have nothing for micro. You have a micro normal. I need to do a bake really quick of these things, so this is not going to work. There, fuck off, bake. It's a little oranger than I'd like it. But it looks like it'll work quite nicely for making a relief. I'm still gonna make it bigger, but it looks like it'll work. I might even be able to just stamp it in on the UVs. If I go back to my layers here. And use the eraser. And let's try and paint this again. Again, that's as big as I can make it. But if I go to 2D, yeah, same thing. I cannot make it any larger than that. Burns it to the ground. Which, I mean, shouldn't be an issue. As long as... I'm able to... I guess the UVs are upside down. Go back into this one. Two wrong or two right, stay here tonight. Cumbersome. The problem with projection mode is that doesn't work with, or does it? Where am I? This guy. Projection. And throw this in the projection. Turn everything else off. Let's also erase really quick. There is a balance. Yeah, I can get it nice and big this way. Cumbersome. Hey, Bobby, you're back. That's really weird. This is the artifacting you get if you use a normal map. With a brush. Where's my stencil? Yeah, that's what I wanted. Is this. There. So I've actually got to paint over the whole thing if I do it that way. But anyway, let's see. It definitely reads as being relief. In the closet, in the house. Yeah, I think that's going to work nicely. In the body, in my head. Yeah, it's picking up on her quite nicely. Yeah, one of the totems is a pocket mirror for Medusa, and so I did a quick ZBrush here to create a stamp that I can use, which I'm quite pleased with, because it works quite nicely. And then what I'm going to do is add some detail like this guy. to it all the way around the perimeter. And then some, I think I'm going to do fig leaves around that as well. So that'll go around the perimeter and around there. And then I'm going to put an fairly ornate handle on here. Yeah, I got an anchor point going. That's how it's picking up the dirt on this thing, even though it's not actually there. But yeah, I think that's going to work really, really well. I think that's going to work quite nice. Anyway, it's midnight. Now that I've done my testing for that, I should probably do a test of the bake on this as well. But the goal here is to convert this to editable poly. And then turbo smooth this. Like so. So that it reads quite nicely when I bake it. And then, yeah, I'm going to go and put an ornate handle on this. I can get rid of that spline now. And I think that'll read quite nicely. And then, yeah, there's going to be like a curly Q on either side going into an ornate handle. And then I got to put a mirror on the bottom. But yeah, that's it for me. Midnight, I'm poached. Save as. And I'll get this stowed away. In here. And we're down to 2/5. 2/5 of the totems to do. As everything else here is now just about ready to go. And so, and there's still a few easy ones to do. I've got another difficult one to do here in the Scarecrow. And so, anyway, thanks for hanging out, guys. And yeah, we're going to be back tomorrow night. Same bat time, same bat channel. And so, yeah, feel free to come and hang out again as we plug away and try and get this done. Maybe what I'll do tomorrow, instead of just doing more of the modeling and texturing of these little guys here, these totems, maybe what I'll do is work on the end screen as well. I've got an ending that needs to happen, and so that might be something worth plugging away as well. And so yeah, we'll see about doing that. Get a little blueprinting in and try and get to a point where this thing closes on itself. And so yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.